Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. Before we get going, I have to show you my shirt, just because otherwise you're going to be wondering, what is that shirt all about? So let me just step back here for a moment. Oh, my foot got stuck in the stool there. So here it is. Here's the full shirt. Give you a second to look at it. This shirt was gifted to me via Amazon. Get resituated here. It was gifted to me via Amazon, and although there was not a note in with it, I'm assuming it was from one of my viewers. In fact, I'm pretty sure I know who. I think this came from Rena. Just because we've had discussions about candy corn in the past, she wanted to know if I could keto-fy candy corn, and I said, under no circumstances would I be willing to do that. So it's been sort of an ongoing joke. She's been a longtime viewer, I think probably from within the first year of this channel. Now, I'm not sure how she knew my address. I don't know if I gave it to her, if she had at some point in the past asked for it. I think so. I think that's how it happened, because she wanted to send me another gift. There were some covers, stretch silicone covers that you can put over pots or bowls or plates or whatever, rather than using cellophane or plastic wrap. So I'm pretty sure it was Rena. If it was Rena, thank you, Rena. I think that's all I have to say about the shirt. So now on with the actual podcast, and I'll start with last week and my sort of schedule last week. On Monday and Tuesday, Terry and I went to a spa resort in Lake Geneva to celebrate our anniversary. We were there for 2 days. I'll get into a little bit more on the detail on that, but we got back and I just thought, you know what, I'll take the rest of the week off. Rather than try and rush out a review video and a cooking video, I'd rather just take a little bit of time, chill, do it right. In terms of the actual trip, it was pretty good. For me, I do have a hard time, and this is sort of residual corporate America PTSD, I think, taking a vacation. It's hard for me to unplug. And I experienced that especially the first day. I was really kind of anxious about not getting out and responding to your comments. Second day was a lot better. I had my phone in a drawer, didn't take it out, didn't look at it at all, didn't respond to any comments those couple of days, and you know what happened? The world did not come to an end. So it's good to know that I can actually take a little bit of a break from time to time. However, when I did open up comments on Wednesday and start responding, that took about 3.5 hours. So it took a little bit of time to get caught up, but so be it. In terms of the actual spa itself, I've talked about this in the past as well, that I'm not real comfortable getting massages. Terry is. Terry loves having massages. She loves it when I rub her back or rub her neck or just, sit on the couch and sort of tickle her back. Me, and it's not that I'm opposed to being touched, it's just the act of a massage, being touched in that sort of intimate way. I mean, to be touched that way by someone who's not my wife, it feels a little bit weird to me, and it took a full 2 days for me to sort of get comfortable. By the time I had my final, it was sort of a facial thing and then a hot stone massage. It took me that long to sort of get comfortable with it. Aside from that, it was pretty relaxing. Just hanging out by a pool or hanging out in a steam room or a sauna and knowing that I have nothing to do at all is a pretty neat feeling. It's very cool to unplug, and so from that standpoint, I really enjoyed it. In terms of eating and staying keto, because I had some people, see how I brought the keto back into this? I had some people ask me, how on a trip like this do you stay keto? And we got there, we got to the resort, it was late morning, I think it was around 10:30 in the morning, and I hadn't had any breakfast, and I also didn't have my usual fatty coffee, so I had nothing to kind of quell the hunger. And we got there, and fortunately, I say fortunately, none of the restaurants were open yet. However, they did have sort of a little coffee shop with snack foods and things like that, and I had a couple of hard-boiled eggs and a stick of string cheese. So far, so good on the keto, and that covered me up until dinner. For dinner, I had a tenderloin. Well, actually, for an appetizer, we had a shrimp cocktail. Then for dinner, I had the tenderloin, and Terry had a ribeye, and we split them both so we could each have, kind of double down on the meat, a little turf and turf, and surf, I guess, if you count the shrimp before it. And so good on me for staying keto that first day. The second day, again, didn't have any breakfast, didn't have any fatty coffee. So by about noon, I'm getting hungry. And we were down by the pool, and it was a fairly limited menu in terms of what you could order down by the pool. I had this turkey and avocado club wrap. And yeah, I know, with the tortilla, probably looking, I'm guessing, between 30 and 40 grams of carbs right there. But I figured if this were my only carbs for the day, shouldn't be a problem. For dinner, we went to a Thai restaurant, and for an appetizer, we had some fried oysters, and I'm not sure what the breading was on that. I'm sure that was probably a smidge carby. And then we had this, it was like a volcano roll without the rice or anything. It was just basically a mound of different seafood and fish roe and some sort of a spicy sauce. So still, I think, fairly low carb. And then for the meal itself, I had what was called, I think it was called Angry Cowboy. It was a spicy beef dish, a little too much Thai basil. In fact, way too much Thai basil for my tastes. And then they added what appeared to be a bowl of rice that was flipped upside down next to it. And I probably could have avoided the rice entirely. I probably should have been proactive and just said no rice. But the rice was on the side, fortunately, and it wasn't underneath all of the meat and stuff. So I was able to pretty much avoid the rice, but I had hit a point where I was just getting overwhelmed by that Thai basil, and I thought, I wonder if a little rice would kind of counteract this. I would say the total serving of rice was probably in the area of a cup and a half, and I had about a third of it, so about a half a cup of rice. And I had my Dexcom G7 continuous glucose monitor on. My glucose spiked by over 90 points. I was at an 87 for my baseline, for my glucose, and it went up to 182, I believe. So what's that, 95 points? Pretty big glucose movement, and that spike occurred at about the 45-minute mark. Fortunately, about 45 minutes after that, I was back down to baseline again. So the good news is I am insulin sensitive, and my pancreas is behaving the way that it's supposed to. Oh, also good news, didn't knock me out of ketosis. So still measuring in ketosis, thumbs up there. And it was good then to get home and get back to some real legitimate, I'm in control of my food completely because I'm making it myself, and staying in keto, keeping the carbs low. But as I said, got home the next day, started going through comments, and I realized as I got done and was kind of looking at some of them, I went back and re-edited some of them because I felt like maybe my response was a little bit short, a little bit brief, and perhaps could have been interpreted as being a little bit grumpy or a little bit terse, which I wasn't. But when you're going through several hundred comments and reading them all and trying to reply to them and things like that, sometimes you can be a little bit brief, or at least I can, in my replies. And that brings me to something that I want to make sure all of you know. If you ever get a comment from me and you're thinking, wow, Steve is maybe being a little bit of a jerk here, or maybe he's been a little bit short with me or something like that, it is almostly, I'm going to say it's certainly a case of me probably going through a ton of comments all at once. And as a result, maybe one of my replies was a little bit brief. Don't ever take it the wrong way. I mean, if I'm legitimately angry or upset, it will be quite obvious in the comments. So don't ever, let me phrase this another way. Always assume the best intentions in my comments when I reply to any of you, because I do truly appreciate the comments. And like I said, if I am actually upset with something you said, it should be fairly obvious in my reply. In the last couple of podcasts, I've mentioned that there is likely going to be a few little changes to this channel. Perhaps changes to the podcast, almost certainly some changes to the podcast, including probably incorporating some more non-keto topics. And I got a great suggestion from one of my viewers, I think it was Alana, I hope I pronounced that correct, Alana, one of the two, who said maybe save some of the non-keto stuff or non-health related stuff towards the end of the podcast, like, after the little ad break that I will sometimes put in the podcasts if they're longer. And I think that's a great idea. I think I will probably do that. One thing, though, that I want to make sure I phrase this correctly, but also honestly, something that disappointed me a little bit in the comments. Most of them were very, very positive and telling me, hey, it's your channel, do whatever you feel best. We trust your judgment. It got you this far. And thank you. Thank you for the positive comments. But there were a lot, surprisingly, of people whose comments were really sort of assuming the worst. Like, I'm going to completely change the format of this channel, or quit being keto, or making just some sort of dramatic different changes. And these were all assumptions, because I've not said any of these things. People saying, well, you better not be doing shorts, or you better not do this, or I'm going to quit watching. And you know what? Honestly, I really don't care for the review videos. Or maybe some people are saying, I like the review videos and the glucose testing, but I don't like the cooking videos, and things like that. So let me just say, first off, I probably will never do shorts. If I do, they will be a short that was extracted essentially from a longer form video just to be used as a teaser. And I may not even do that, just because it's more work, and it's administrative type work that I don't especially enjoy. So there's that. I think that if you trust me, and you trust my judgment, and you trust what has kept this channel going for 5.5 years, I think it's fairly safe to say that I'm not going to make any radical changes to this channel. But I do want to make sure that I keep it fresh and that I keep it fun. I want to make sure that I'm enjoying myself, because I've spent a lot of my working career not enjoying myself just for the sake of a paycheck. And I'm not going to do that here. So hopefully that assuages a lot of your concerns. The one thing, though, that I thought about, and it's sort of a metaphor for going to a restaurant or looking at a menu. I look at my content sort of as the offerings at a restaurant or on a menu. You get to pick what you want. Maybe you want it all. Maybe you want to watch everything I do, and if so, that's wonderful. But if not, I recognize that there are certain things that appeal to certain people. Some people are going to really enjoy the cooking videos. Other people may not have the time or energy or aptitude to cook, and for them, staying on keto may revolve around keto-labeled products. And they want to know, is it really keto? Is it any good? Is it going to spike their glucose? Or use me as a proxy, is it going to spike my glucose? And thus, you can kind of make a decision from there. But I never go to a restaurant and say, oh, well, I'm not going to have this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. I don't have that conversation with my server. I find the thing that I want to eat, or in this case, watch, and that's what I do. I don't see the upside in complaining about a given portion of the content, because it's not going to change significantly. I'm going to kind of keep doing what I've been doing, and if you want to watch that stuff, watch that stuff. If you want to watch this stuff, watch this stuff. If you want to watch it all, watch it all. But certainly, like, making threats to stop watching, I don't get that at all. And I think one of my rules, one of the things that I try and do whenever I leave comments for someone else, and as I've said before, I rarely watch any cooking videos. So I'll watch stuff on photography or music theory or things like that. And there have been times where I'll see a video that I'm like, that's not quite up to that particular creator's standard. I didn't enjoy this one as much as some others. I think about how I would respond if I got that particular comment or that particular bit of unsolicited feedback from, whether it's a friend or a total stranger. And if it's something that I feel like I wouldn't really appreciate or do anything with in real life, then I'm not going to leave that same sort of comment for someone else. An example, I had mentioned before, I like watching the little shorts by that 40-year-old guy, who basically what he does is he looks at some sort of a viral thing, a TikTok thing, whatever, some sort of a life hack generally. Sometimes it's cooking related, it may be cleaning related, you never know. And then he tries it out, and sometimes he's amazed, and then I learn something, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then I also learn something. And sometimes his videos are really great, and sometimes they're below what I consider to be a standard that he has set in his videos. And he had one, and I thought about leaving a comment saying, this one you probably shouldn't have done. This one it wasn't that good. It was kind of long, didn't really get anywhere in terms of a point, and even if this hack worked, I wouldn't have cared. But I thought, what if someone gave me that feedback? How would I feel? Because all of us as content creators, and I know I've got a number of content creators that watch, know the amount of work that goes into something. And it's not like I'm providing constructive feedback when I leave a comment like that. So I don't do it. I just say, well, that wasn't as good as he or she usually does. Maybe the next one will be better, and it probably will. Now, as I say this, I want you to understand I am not complaining about comments, because all comments help boost the engagement metric on this channel. They help out then in terms of YouTube recommending it to other people, because they see, oh wow, look at all these comments. So there's a likelihood that it will boost the channel and be recommended both to subscribers and non-subscribers alike. So comments are a good thing. I just happen to enjoy the positive ones a lot more than the negative ones or the ones that are threatening or insulting. Now, I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be like for this week. I have some footage recorded for 2 different videos, both a review video and also a cooking video. And I'm still trying to decide how I feel about each one of them. The review video is not a keto product. It is a kitchen-related product. And I'm kind of struggling in terms of determining who the target market is for this particular product. There's some fairly expensive Japanese knives that were sent to me for a review. And I think you're going to see that when the video comes out, because I'm going to record it. If this is Monday and you're watching it, I'm probably recording the remainder of that video and my summary on it. And I think you're going to see just how conflicted I can be when it comes to a review. So that's coming on Wednesday. On Friday, it's going to be a very simple cooking video, but I think what it's going to be is a video that we all can build off. It's the sort of thing where I'm going to kind of float out a little bit of an idea / recipe that came from one of my viewers that I think we all have the opportunity to build on and share some information on by trying some little different variations on it. So hopefully that tease has got you excited for Friday's video. But that is going to be it for this podcast. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's great spending some time with you. I hope you feel the same way. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.